Welcome to my YouTube channel American Story Hub. George Washington was born on February 22, 1732, in Westmoreland County, Virginia, at a time when America was not yet an independent nation. It was a collection of British colonies spread across the Atlantic coast. Washington came from a plantation family involved mainly in tobacco farming. His father, Augustine Washington, was a moderately wealthy landowner, respected but not among the elite aristocracy. His mother, Mary Ball Washington, was a strong-willed and highly disciplined woman who left a permanent mark on Washington's character. Washington's formal education was limited. Due to his father's death when he was only 11, his schooling stopped early. But Washington possessed a sharp, curious mind and continued to educate himself. He mastered mathematics, geometry, trigonometry, surveying, and basic geography, skills that shaped his early career and later military life. Young Washington was tall, physically strong, and had a natural leadership presence. He learned horse riding at a young age and became one of the best riders in Virginia. He enjoyed outdoor activities, hunting, and physical challenges. These early experiences built the foundation for a leader who would eventually command armies, lead a revolution, and become the first president of the United States. At age 17, Washington took up work as a professional land surveyor, a respected and essential job in colonial America. During these years, he mapped territories in the western frontier, far beyond settled areas. The Appalachian Mountains, dense forests, rivers, and Native American territories were all part of the environment he explored. Surveying taught Washington several important things: a deep understanding of frontier geography, how to survive and work in harsh environmental conditions, diplomatic interaction with Native American tribes, an early glimpse of British colonial expansion policies. These experiences sharpened his judgment, strengthened his physical endurance, and exposed him to the political and military realities of life on the frontier. Washington's early military career began during the French and Indian War, a conflict between Britain and France for control of North America. Both sides used Native American allies, making the conflict dangerous and unpredictable. In 1754, Washington was appointed a major in the Virginia militia. He was tasked with confronting French forces in the Ohio Valley. His first major action was building Fort Necessity, which soon fell to superior French forces. Washington was forced to surrender, one of the few times in his life he faced such humiliation. However, this defeat taught him crucial lessons: how untrained militias struggled in battle, the importance of discipline and coordination, how critical logistics and communication were during war. Over the next several years, Washington served under British generals in numerous campaigns. His bravery under fire became well known. He survived countless gunfights, several horses shot under him, and bullet holes through his coat, yet he was never wounded. Soldiers admired him, and his reputation for courage spread throughout the colonies. After the war, Washington returned to his plantation, Mount Vernon, and became a successful agricultural businessman. In 1759, he married Martha Dandridge Custis, a wealthy widow with 2 children. Through this marriage, Washington gained financial security and higher social status. During this time, he entered politics as a member of the Virginia House of Burgesses. He was known for his calm demeanor, integrity, and logical thinking. Washington became increasingly critical of British policies aimed at taxing the American colonies. The Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts, the Tea Act, these British laws angered many colonists and sparked a growing movement for self-governance. Washington believed in lawful protest but understood that political resistance might eventually require military action. By 1774, British policies had pushed America to the brink of rebellion. When Britain passed the harsh coercive acts, or intolerable acts, the colonies formed the First Continental Congress. Washington was chosen as one of Virginia's representatives. Because of his military background, calm judgment, and dignified personality, Washington quickly became one of the most respected leaders in Congress. In 1775, the first battles of the American Revolution broke out at Lexington and Concord. The colonies now needed a unified army and a strong commander. On June 14, 1775, George Washington was unanimously appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. This was the beginning of his greatest historical role. A. Siege of Boston, 1775–1776. Washington took command of a poorly organized militia. Within months, he disciplined the men and applied military structure. He strategically fortified Dorchester Heights, forcing the British to evacuate Boston in March 1776, a major early victory. B. New York Campaign, 1776. The war soon shifted to New York, where Washington faced one of the strongest British armies in the world. The Continental Army suffered several defeats. New York City was lost. The American Revolution seemed close to failure. But Washington's greatest tactical achievement was the nighttime retreat across the East River, saving his army from destruction. His calm leadership kept the revolution alive. C. Crossing the Delaware and victory at Trenton, 1776. By December 1776, morale was extremely low. Armies were shrinking. Many believed the revolution was finished. Then came Washington's boldest move. On Christmas night, in freezing conditions, he crossed the Delaware River and launched a surprise attack at Trenton, defeating Hessian forces. This victory revived the revolution and transformed Washington into a legendary hero. D. Valley Forge Winters, 1777–1778. The army suffered terribly during the winter at Valley Forge: cold, hunger, disease, and lack of supplies. Washington stood by his troops throughout this suffering. His presence boosted morale. Under the training of Baron von Steuben, the Continental Army became a professional fighting force. E. Victory at Yorktown, 1781. With help from the French Army and Navy, Washington trapped British General Cornwallis at Yorktown. The British surrendered in October 1781. The war was effectively over. America was finally on the path to independence. After the war, Washington performed an extraordinary act. He resigned his military power and returned home to Mount Vernon. This voluntary surrender of authority shocked the world. Leaders in Europe praised him as an example of pure Republican virtue. At Mount Vernon, Washington improved his plantation, researched agricultural innovations, advocated cautious steps toward ending slavery. Though he owned slaves, he struggled with the institution morally. Watched with growing concern as the nation under the Articles of Confederation became weak and unstable. The country urgently needed stronger national leadership. Washington was unanimously chosen to preside over the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. His presence alone brought order and unity to a divided assembly. The result was the U.S. Constitution, establishing a stronger federal government, the presidency, a system of checks and balances, national unity under law. Washington's dignity and neutrality made him the spiritual anchor of the convention. In 1789, Washington was unanimously elected the first president of the United States. No other American has ever received such unanimous support. A. First-term achievements. Formed the first cabinet system. Oversaw the creation of the Bill of Rights. Established the Supreme Court and federal judiciary. Supported Alexander Hamilton's National Bank. Strengthened the new federal government's authority. B. Second-term challenges. Washington's second term was dominated by increasing political conflict. Rivalry between Hamilton, Federalists, and Jefferson, Democratic Republicans. Debates over the French Revolution. Domestic unrest like the Whiskey Rebellion. The controversial Jay Treaty with Britain. Despite the tensions, Washington maintained a policy of strict neutrality, believing America was too young to become entangled in foreign wars. Washington's farewell address is one of the foundational documents of American political philosophy. He warned against political parties, permanent alliances with foreign nations, regional division between North and South, disrespecting the Constitution. Many of his warnings remain relevant today. After leaving office, Washington retired once again to Mount Vernon. He hoped for a peaceful life but remained an influential national figure. When tensions with France escalated in 1798, he was asked to lead the U.S. Army in case of war. He accepted, showing his continued loyalty to the nation. On December 14, 1799, Washington died after a sudden throat infection. His death caused national mourning. Newspapers across America and Europe declared him the father of his country. George Washington's life is the story of a man who transitioned from a frontier surveyor to a global symbol of freedom and leadership. He commanded the Continental Army, led America to independence, guided the creation of the Constitution, Became the first president. Set democratic traditions still followed today. His courage, discipline, humility, and sense of duty shaped the identity of the United States.